This is TWiT. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number. David's on the line from Anaheim, our next caller. Hi, David.
Hey, all right.
Welcome to the show.
I have someone sane that I could ask these questions about electronics.
Sane, can't guarantee, but I'll do my best. Do my best.
Hey, I had been looking at home security systems and was discouraged by the monthly fees that they charge.
Yeah, usually it's around $45 a month. Yeah.
I know. And then I came across a product I think it's called Eufy, E-U-F-Y.
Oh, Eufy, yeah.
Eufy.
That's Anchor's product. Yeah.
Yes. I purchased it because they don't charge a monthly fee. Now, it does not have an SD card. So I've been using it for a few months, and I had a video that I wanted to send a friend, a security video, and it wouldn't allow me to do it unless I signed up to. They want access to my photos, to my camera, to my search engines, everything that I search, to my home data. I called the company, and I went back and forth with a woman saying, she said, well, we would never use any of that. And I said, well, then why do you require it?
So the video, I'm guessing, is stored in your photo gallery.
Yeah, and I
so in order for them to share it using their system, they have to have access to your photos. It doesn't explain why they need access to your search history, however. Was it just one pop-up, or was it a bunch of different pop-ups?
No, every time I try to send it, it says I can't send anything until I let them have access to my computer.
And you're not sending it from a smart device. This is from a computer.
It's from my iPad.
Oh yeah. Okay, so it is from iOS. Apple does that, by the way. This is Apple saying you have to, in order for anybody to share anything from your photos, you have to give them permission to access your photos. That's normal. You've seen it before 100 times, right?
Okay.
So that's just the way Apple does things. And unfortunately, with the iPad, there's no other place you can put a video but your photos, because that's just how iOS works. That's why I was surprised if it is from a computer, that would be different, because you could just have an uploadable file and they wouldn't need access to anything. But from an iOS or Android device, Google and Apple have set it up, and quite properly, that an application can't access parts of your system without your permission. In this case, the photos are in the library. They have to access the library. They can't get to the picture. Now, you may not want to do that, and I understand, but in fact, that's why Apple puts that warning in. You have to explicitly.
Well, it's not from Apple. The warning is from Eufy.
Yeah, but it is from, trust me. When you say okay, it will then be a pop-up from iOS saying, because this is how it works. You've seen this before, right? When you try to share a picture from your photo album to Twitter, pops up a thing says Twitter needs access to your photo album. Right? Yes.
Yeah, I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know.
Whatever, wherever you're sending it. Anytime you want to share a photo from your album using an app, in order for the app to access the album, it has to request permission. Now, I would be curious about other permissions. They shouldn't need, for instance, location. But this is what Apple does. There'll be a granular series of pop-ups. You may be seeing this as a preliminary warning from the Eufy, saying, look, you're going to have to say yes. That's just very common in apps. After you click OK to that, then Apple will jump in and say, okay, do you want to give Eufy access to this? You can say yes to your photo album, and you have to. If you ever want to share anything from your photo album, you have to give permission. That's the way it works. But you don't have to give them permission to other things, and if they ask for it, I would say no. That's just the way it works on iOS.
In front of me. It's either everything or nothing. You can't.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. I'm sorry, but you go back to it. The app may be popping up something that says you're going to have to give me this, 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 and this. Apple will be granular. Apple goes one by one through the permissions. This is really normal, and this is what you want. So if you were to use Facebook Messenger, you don't use Twitter, so you probably don't use Facebook, but if you were to use any WhatsApp, if you were to use any messaging service and you wanted to send somebody a picture, that app would then have to say, through Apple, And Apple will pop up a thing that says, WhatsApp wants permission to access your photos. That's how it works. So that's okay. It will split them up. So the first thing you're seeing may be Eufy saying, look, just to let you know, we're going to have to ask for a series of permissions here. Go ahead, say yes to that. Apple will then say albums. You may, if you want to share from your album, you're going to have to say yes to that. But if it asks for other things, you can quite reasonably say no. And if Eufy says, well, without those permissions, we can't do it, then you say, sorry, I don't want to do it. You won't be required to. You can even say yes to it now and then go into the settings on your iPad. If you go in settings and go to the Eufy app that you're using, you can turn those off after you send that. So you could turn it on for one time only and then turn it off. The things I would be careful about, photos, they have to. They cannot access that photo album, period. So they have to. But they shouldn't need location information unless that's part of what gets sent. It might be for a security camera. They shouldn't need access to other things. I would be very careful about contacts because it's not unusual for apps to say, hey, this is very common. Oh, we'd like to let you know when other friends of yours start using this app, all you have to do is share your contacts with us. And, while Apple's pretty good about protecting your privacy, once you upload your contacts to a service, they have them. And you're now giving up not only your own information, but information for everybody in your contact list, their phone number, their email, and all that stuff. So that's a reasonable thing to say no to. Now, if you're sending it from within the Eufy app, they might need access to your contacts just to get the email to send it to. So this is how mobile devices work. And this is a good thing. Both Google and Apple have started doing this on Android and iOS and iPadOS, as you can tell. Before they'll allow any app access to this information, they will pop up a permission asking you. And I should reiterate, you can do it one time only. You can say yes, send the thing, and then the weird thing is that these permissions are stored in the Apple Settings app on iOS, and there's you'll notice every app on your phone or your iPad has an entry in Settings at the bottom, and that's where you can control specifically the access available. And you could turn it off after you say yes to it. Now, Eufy is a Chinese company. It's Anker, A-N-K-E-R. That's who owns Eufy. So if you share the fear that the U.S. government apparently has of Chinese, then you probably should say no, but you'll never be able to share photos out of your album. It'd be interesting if I think what you could do, if you have a computer, is get it off your phone onto the computer, and then you can email it. So I'm assuming that the Eufy app would allow you to save the video or export that video to a computer. If you do that, then you won't need those permissions. It's absolutely not a part of desktop operating systems yet. Microsoft doesn't do it yet, but Apple is starting to do it. In fact, in Big Sur, a lot of times before you can even access a folder, Big Sur will say, do you want to let this program access your downloads? Yes. This is because the world has become a dangerous place, and I don't blame these guys for doing it. It's appropriate for you to pay attention to these. I don't want us to get in the position where you go, okay. Yeah, go ahead. Pay attention. There's a reason it's popping up that request. Again, when Eufy says it, just say okay. That doesn't end the matter. It will then in a series pop up Apple requests. You have to tell Apple, not Eufy.